Hey everybody, welcome back to another episode of Cryptid Conversations. I'm Caster MJ, and along with me, I have Deadly,
What's up, guys?
as well as Cryptid Nation News.
How's it going?
And as usual, before we get started, I'd just like to remind everybody that this podcast is sponsored by Immortal Workshop. Immortal Workshop is a sponsor with Metazoo. A partner with Metazoo. He's a sponsor for us. He's a partner with Metazoo. And if you're shopping Metazoo, you might as well be shopping with the partners. So you'll be able to find his link in the description below. And with that, we're just going to get into this week's episode, which I've been pretty excited for, honestly. I've had this episode planned for a few weeks now. And basically what we're just going to be talking about is our favorite things that happened in 2022 with Metazoo. So to keep it so we didn't talk for like 5 hours, because something like a topic like this, we probably could have.
Definitely.
I limited it to four questions that I thought were ones that we'd be able to talk about, probably have different answers to, that we probably wouldn't all just be like, oh yeah, me too. And we could probably have a good conversation with it that'll last a normal podcast episode length instead of 5 hours. So the first question I had was what our favorite set was for the year. And by that I mean just regular like core set. There was Wilderness, there was UFO, there was Seance. Was CN2 technically in 2022?
I don't remember the exact date it dropped, but I feel like it was.
I feel like it was as well.
I feel it was like the third week of January, maybe.
So with that, Ian, why don't you tell us what your favorite set was for 2022?
No. So yeah, it's hard to answer actually. I was thinking about it, and I couldn't really decide wholeheartedly on one, because there's different aspects of actually each of the releases that I liked. But I would have to say that my answer would be UFO, and that was because of the changes to the secret rares. It made it so if you didn't hit them, it wasn't as big of a deal because they were functionally the same as their core set partners. So it took a lot of that pressure of kind of chasing these 1 of 100s that could be in the set, or in this case it was 1 of 10s, but 10 different beasties of 1 of 10s. So it took some of that pressure off, which I thought was really nice in that secret rare chase. Because, it'd be great if you pulled one, but you're not missing out on anything really if you don't.
Yeah.
So.
I agree with that.
Well,
Not exactly.
Well, Deadly, what was your favorite core set drop this year?
So yeah, mine was not UFO, but I agree with your statement. With the secret rares, I kind of I like the fact, like you said, that you didn't have this major chase. Like, oh man, I'm gonna miss out on playability. I'm gonna miss out on just being able to get a finishing card for the set. So that I did like how they did that. Mine's Seance, and I think I can correct us if we're wrong, but CN2 card, if you can see, 2021 at the bottom, but I don't know, maybe it like is just CN1 2021 continuation CN2. It printed in 2022, but gotcha. I don't know.
I'm sure Google has the answer.
Or Mike.
So why Deadly is Seance your favorite set?
The cards, the playability, all the different types of cards that came out. They came out with counters for light. They came out with counters for spirit. I was about to say Seance. For spirit, for flame, like the list goes on. So now you have these cards that you're hesitant to now think you're going to be able to play this spell. You can really mix up the meta, I feel like, in this set. I feel like there's some things, but I don't know. Seance definitely was my favorite. Wilderness was good. I liked Wilderness, but UFO is probably my least favorite, to be honest.
I agree with that, actually. UFO was my least favorite also. Sorry, Ian.
No, it's okay. We're looking at it from different perspectives, too.
Yeah.
That's the hard part of this question is from what perspective, right? Because there's the art perspective, there's the what changes did they make in the set perspective, and then, you guys obviously a lot more focused on playability.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And how it changes the game.
So, yeah, actually, Wilderness is my favorite set from the year. And the reason that I chose Wilderness is because, again, a playability aspect. It's where we got the Prism Aura. It's where like Dual Aura kind of really first started shining through. It's where people were able to kind of dabble in between the Prism Aura and Overgrown City, where you're able to grab. I mean, Deadly and I were doing it, and a lot of our teammates were doing it back in the Wilderness days, where you would splash like your 2 prisms in there, and you'd splash like 1, maybe 2 of another color aura, and you would Overgrown City to get that 1 or 2 other aura out there. So that's where my mind started like just expanding, really. Not to mention Snipe comes from that set too, and who doesn't love Snipe, So yeah, so that's funny that there were like really mainly 3 core set drops, and all 3 of us chose different ones for different reasons.
Yeah.
So
I did just look it up while I was ignoring you guys. Cryptid Nation 2nd edition dropped on January 1st, 2022.
Oh, snap.
Wow, so
First of the year.
Change my answer? No. I don't know. That's so tough then, because
that makes it harder.
Like CN is a great set.
It's a staple. It's a staple. You need it. The game doesn't exist without it.
That's true.
It's super, super strong. Like a lot of cars that come from that.
And
I stand by Wilderness.
Yeah, but CN2, for people like me coming in late, right? I wasn't there for CN1, I wasn't there for Kickstarter. It made those cards affordable.
Yeah.
Right.
I agree, yeah. So for all of the 3 of us, it came in handy, yeah.
Yeah.
And even for new people coming in today, I saw somebody selling booster boxes of CN2. I haven't really looked at CN2 in a while, but I was like, oh, this is reasonable. I was like, yeah, people could get their hands on a booster box of that for a reasonable price and be able to add to their new cards that they're getting and play the game with everybody else essentially. You do need some of those cards, so it would be bad in a sense if new players couldn't get them.
Yeah, it's actually of all of the sets that I have. I'm looking over at my bookshelf of product over there. I think CN2 booster boxes are what I have most of over there. I think I have 8 just sitting on the shelf over there.
Nice.
Because I expect them to
CN2 boosters.
Yeah, it's going to run dry eventually,
well,
and they're going to be necessary to.
100%.
I also have said this a million times. Deadly's heard me. I'm like beating a dead horse by saying this, but I've never said it on the podcast before, I don't think. CN2 is also the only set that has 2nd edition booster boxes.
Yeah.
I believe that in itself will increase the value in those. And
It's the only one.
There will never be any other 2nd edition booster boxes.
So really, we should be...
Because Mike has said that all 2nd edition products in the future will be big box releases, and no big box releases will be booster boxes. So...
Well,
in a sense, isn't that just 2nd edition with a different name, though?
Yeah, but it has all those little logos on it,
but
pretty
how-
much. They
but-
put different logos usually.
But they'll never make a booster box for Walmart. They'll never make a booster box.
True.
For
No.
they'll be.
I mean, they made a mini one on
blisters.
eBay for
They'll be-
Wilderness.
Yeah, it was
But-
just
They made the
spelled
10 pack one.
Yeah.
Topper.
Yeah, it's not the same though. You see what I'm
No,
saying?
100%.
So, I think that CN2 box will go up in value, especially as time goes on and with the amount that it will be opened and have been opened.
What's the combination of like total print run of CN1 and CN2 combined?
That's
100,000. So 25,000 first edition,
and
75,000 second
75,000,
edition.
and then they went down to 50,000 for everything else.
Yep. And
Except for-
distribution.
Seance, then they dropped it, right?
Yeah.
Seances, is when it dropped to 50. For
Gotcha.
the distribution on CN1 and CN2, CN1 was 100% US based. 62,500 of CN2 was US based, and then the rest of it, the 12,500,
Just
was international.
gotcha. Now, obviously, Metazoo has. I've always wondered this, and I don't know if you know the answer. This is just me. I've never asked this out loud before. Metazoo obviously has products still because they give it away for prize support and things like that. Is that a part of like the known SKU print run and everything like that? Like the US
I believe so.
US allocation essentially, like that number.
Yeah, I'd imagine that the print run numbers are agnostic to what they held back, not just what was publicly released.
No. Yeah. But that's like the U.S. number, I'm assuming, right? Like they didn't take that from like that 13% or whatever. That's just like that we don't. You know, you're saying like they say they dispensed it.
Oh, some of it's international. Yeah.
Yeah. Like is that really what they're holding? You know, like I always kind of wonder that. You know, because
I doubt it.
You never know.
yeah.
I feel like, especially with how little was sent overseas for second edition, that it's incredibly important that it was sent overseas. We have a strong representation in Australia with Metazoo Nation, Dean and his crew. And we definitely have some players in the UK, and I think I've seen some from Germany.
I was going to say Germany. I think
It's
somebody won Termentic's giveaway in our Discord. This is going back like a month and a half, 2 months ago now, something like that. And they were from another country. I think it was Finland, if I'm remembering correctly. I believe it was Finland.
my first giveaway. I think, Deadly, you sent something to Croatia.
Yeah. I was about to say, I sent something to Croatia, and then I think I sent something to Germany.
Nice.
So those are the two places.
Europe, represent. I like it.
Yeah.
I love it.
Dude, when we were first starting our Discord, I was trying to be like really nice, and I see people being like, "Hey, does anybody have like a reverse hollow like joint snake?" And I was like, "Hey, I got this and this and this, all like CN like 2 or something. I don't remember." And they were like, "Will you trade for like a Quetz?" I was like, "Sure, absolutely, I'd love to." And then they ended up being in like,
Switzerland.
that one might have been the Germany. I can't remember, but it was far, and I was like, "Oh wow!" Like, okay, so we're doing this.
Yeah, you already
It's like
agreed to
literally
it.
$16 shipping, which isn't that bad. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Usually, like I think flat rate, like international, I think you can get away with like $16.
Yeah, something
too big.
something that small. Yeah.
Yeah. That first giveaway for me, it was somebody in Australia. No, it wasn't the giveaway. It was the art contest they did for a logo back in May.
Yeah.
The winner was from Australia, and I got wind of how much shipping was because I didn't know at the time. I hadn't really been shipping.
Australia is bad. Yeah.
Yeah, it was really bad. You know, I was like, you know what? If I'm gonna be paying this to get shipped over there and getting, getting gouged on these shipping costs, I'm like, okay, you're getting an extra CN2 booster box, you're getting some blisters, pack this box full. I'm like, if I'm gonna get screwed on shipping, you're getting a bunch of stuff,
Yeah. No, I honestly think that's probably the most expensive spot for us. It's the farthest away from us, I would assume, right? I don't think anything's further away from us than Australia.
I'm not a geography expert.
I'm not either, but if I had to guess,
Growing up, growing up, I was always told that if I dig straight down into the earth, I'll end up in China. So I feel like that might be the farthest
who taught you
away.
that, Bugs Bunny, dude? All right. Well, so now that we covered our favorite core set of the year, my next question is, what was our favorite subset of the year? There were many, like mini releases throughout 2022. I think that's something Metazoo did pretty well, honestly, over the year. Was they made a bunch of collaborations and partnerships, and they did a lot of drops and releases, and a lot of it came out pretty cool. A lot of the artwork and the playability in the cards was pretty cool. So yeah, with that, Ian, what was your favorite subset?
So what is the criteria? Because depending on what exactly we're talking about,
I'm cool with anything that was not core set, pretty much.
Anything that was not yeah, okay. So, but I have a different answer for playability versus, say, art.
I'll take two. You could have more than one.
And I feel like, in some fashion, one of these is going to be on all of our lists, and that's Hero Quest. I think the way that they switched up the art in Hero Quest, adding the fact. Wait, seriously, Hero Quest isn't in here? Okay, well, you know what? I'm still going to explain my reasoning.
Wilderness.
Wrong.
You're an eBay state wilderness. It makes sense. Anyway, just something about the art there and the change up and the steampunk beasties and zombies and these variants of these ones that we've known and loved. To be honest, there's a few of the Hero Quest specific cards that were useful, but most of them, in my opinion, were kind of a miss, playability wise.
A lot of them, yeah.
Whoops. But I feel like Hero Quest was very popular because of these variants on these beasties that we've already kind of grown to love from other sets. So I feel the same way about Hero Quest too. I'm excited about it to get those variants and just kind of build upon beasties that we already care about.
Yeah.
For playability, I have to go with the Christmas the holiday ornament set.
Yep.
Just so many good cards just came out in that set. They play well off each other. The strength that's being added to turning the arena into December, making that actually viable, so you can pull in the 2020 and the 2021 Christmas sets as well. I just feel like that set was well designed and
no, it was.
It's probably one of the first ancillary sets that I have been excited to try to build a spellbook for.
No, that's definitely, and not to mention the ornaments itself were ridiculously well made.
Yeah. I love those things.
They could barely stand on my Christmas tree. They're so heavy. You know what I mean?
I was scared of that too.
Yeah, dude. They were legit.
I was like, all right, we gotta bend it up,
hold
it together
to the actual stem of the tree.
Yeah.
Oh man.
So Deadly, what was your favorite little subset?
All right. So first thing that came to mind was exactly what Ian said, was those two sets. Because I was trying to think, what?
I had two other sets come. I'm going to mention both of mine now. I was only going to mention one. I'm mentioning both of mine.
We both know MJ's not really a player or a collector.
Damn, dude. I'm just a poser.
No, I'm just kidding. No, I'm actually interested to hear what you have to say, because you always come up with something very, very I never think of it. But for me, I would have to say, I'm trying so hard not to go with the same answer.
Say whatever you want. You're entitled to your own opinion, man. Even though it's his opinion as well, but
I'm gonna pick. I know I'm gonna pick one, unlike Ian, because Ian can't apparently make up his mind. So mine's gonna be the Christmas ornament set, 100%. Hero Quest is second, but because they had, like you said, the playability on the ones they came out with, they all looked really cool, and they all seemed like they could have done something. Maybe one or two of them are like playable, like really, really like playable right now. But the art on all of them are sick. Every single one of them. The other thing that I didn't like about it was that it only had one pack, or one card in the pack.
Yeah.
And granted, it wasn't like exorbitantly expensive. It was a cool way to package the card. I just, I'm more excited for these blister packs that they're coming, the 2.0s. Like, those are going to be cool. I don't know how I feel about having that promo in the front, but we haven't even seen the actual promo though, right? Like actually like words.
Which one?
It was fuzz.
For
Hero Quest promos.
The 2.0.
Oh yeah, there's gonna be 4, right? So we've seen Alaskan Ice Monster, but we already know what that is. Choo Choo, I think was one of them. But you need 10 per spell book. Chi Chi.
Choo
Choo.
Yeah, because you were like, it reminds me of this song.
It is. That's the name of.
Song. Oh yeah,
it's a
his
name.
Song.
It's a name of a Hero Quest song on the album. Chi Chi.
Whoopsies.
Got our own conversations here.
Yeah.
I don't think we've seen the effects now. We've seen the name. We've seen how many per spell book, which is insane. So hopefully it's within the set itself as well.
Yeah.
I'm hoping that they take what they did with Christmas set and make this very like, just like well designed, well made set of cards. I think Christmas set was perfectly done.
Yeah.
We placed our orders. They came in within a reasonable time. They were beautiful. I loved them. Like, I'm going to use them every year. And my cards
2.0,
every day.
it's supposed to be shipping soon.
Yeah, so. I know. So we'll see. I mean,
so
it's holiday season right now, dude. I mean, you can't expect anything going on until after, after the new year.
My 2 sets. The one that honestly I was going to choose and I ended up not choosing. And the reason I honestly love it was the artwork, like Ian was saying. And even I'll say the packaging as well, was the Valentine's set. I loved the Valentine's drop. I had a lot of fun opening it. I thought the Chibis was a whole new spin that we haven't really seen. Up until that point, we only saw Chibi Quets. No.
Chibi Mothman,
Chibi Quets, and those were it. Yeah, those were it. And once I saw that Chibi Parade,
I feel like there's one.
I was like, oh man, this set's awesome. And when it came in that box, and it was actually like a sturdy box and stuff like that. That was a well
made one.
I was like, damn, this is awesome. You know what I mean? Yeah. But it really had to do with the design and the artwork on the cards more so than the playability for me. Now
that was one of the few sets I did not open this year.
That was the set that got me banned for the first time from the Metazoo Discord.
Yeah, I did. I ordered some. They sat in the warehouse for 2 months before I finally reached out to support and be like, "What's going on?" And then they sent me new ones. But by that time, it was already like so far past the relevancy. And at the time, I was a collector's channel, not a player's channel, anything like that. So they're still sitting on my shelf over there.
Deadly and I have rebought that set like 3 times now. Like when it dropped,
not like recently.
No,
I have unopened boxes here at my house waiting.
Like right when it dropped, essentially. Oh, that's some. Yes. That's some. I have like 2 boxes of that as well. Actually, I got one too. I usually don't have sealed stuff.
You're like, I'm gonna open it right now.
I have a signed box of that from Mike that says to Matt from, and then Mike's like squiggly fucking signature. But so my favorite subset from this year, there's multiple reasons why I chose it. Honestly, it's not the most playable set, but I did enjoy how it had playability when it dropped. And it does have some more now that regained as well, but that is the fan art set that dropped this year.
That was a good one. That was a good one too.
I loved it.
See, he's sneaky. He remembers things.
And again, there were playable cards. although they haven't seen as much play as other subsets, you know what I mean? But they are playable cards, and like Seance, we have Green Eyes or Orange Eyes. I'm sorry,
Orange Eyes.
Orange
I call
Eyes,
them Green Eyes
and-
all the time too.
and yeah, and Orange Eyes could use Crosswick Monster from the fan art set. So like
free.
Yep.
So like it's coming back kind of, but the real reason why I love this is because it went back to the community. And honestly, if it wasn't for this community, like Metazoo wouldn't even exist. So I think it's awesome that they're the only game that I'm aware of anyway that is doing something like this. That literally gets fans of the game involved in making some of the cards. I haven't seen that in Pokemon. I haven't seen that in Magic. I haven't seen that in Yu-Gi-Oh. I could be wrong, but I think that's awesome. You know what I mean? And
Yeah, I don't think I've
some
heard
of those
it either.
some of those artists have become like, wasn't Isaac Sky Lee? He did
I
the
believe,
first
yeah.
fan art.
Yeah. I think that's how he got recognized by them. Yeah. And then his sister even had a card in the set. She did Bloody Mary.
Best card in that set.
That card's amazing. Yeah.
And honestly, probably one of the best arts in that set too. I'm just gonna
Realistically,
say it.
yeah.
That card is very well done.
It is.
Great color scheme, just like great content.
It's an all around great card. And
It's one of my favorite to use in gameplay as well.
Oh yeah.
As
so
long as you
annoying.
remember to use it right before the turn ends. Bloody Mary, Bloody Mary.
Yeah.
so yeah,
Happens.
I just during the time of like opening the fan art set too was like when they were setting the rules and everything and the guidelines for the upcoming fan art set. So like I was pretty hyped up about it. I know a few people on our team were hyped up about it. I know a lot of people in the Discord were hyped up about it. And I just like that it kind of like brought everybody together in a way, and everybody was kind of hyped up at the same time, type of thing, as opposed to certain drops. Other people are like, I'm going to miss out on this. Everybody wanted the fan art. Everybody thought it was pretty dope. Everybody was upset if they missed it, you know?
Well, so I feel like it was a tail end from the Magic Cast. So what had happened, I think, timeline-wise, Magic Cast came out, and like, I don't know what happened because I fully knew it was dropping. I knew when it happened. I ordered a bunch of it, and I was super excited because they flashed the box. I was like, that box, this looks cool.
But I remember what happened is it was the same day as a real core set drop, and because this is what happened. I spent a bunch of money on Metazoo Marketplace buying the drop that happened that day. And you then, Deadly, were like, how many Magic Casts did you get? And I was like, what? I just spent $700 on the what? I didn't even, you know, I was
don't
like,
think
damn.
it was. Magic Cast was April 2nd. It wasn't. Wilderness was out the week before that.
It was the day
It was
they
a week
added.
difference.
It was the day they added Wilderness stuff to the marketplace.
Gotcha.
They didn't have like Wilderness like spell books
So-
and theme decks and stuff like that yet.
I remember
You don't
they
like
kind of
supporting
tailed some of
LGSs.
those.
So I had, and Deadly and I
At that
had,
time, I don't think we really...
and Deadly and I had already pre-ordered NFT booster boxes through the Orlando Collecticon because you were able to do them there. So we were only waiting to buy like the other SKUs. So yeah, I remember specifically it was like the same day as like other SKUs dropping on their website, and I was like, dude, I just dropped like, I don't know, like $300, $400 or something like that. I was like, and I missed out. So Deadly ended up picking up a few extra that I had to pay him back for. But but I was honestly like, I enjoyed Magic Cast, but I was honestly also upset with it because I wanted, and I get it was an April Fool's set, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I wanted those like old school Metazoo sample-y cards, the original artworks that like were
You
being
flashed it, and
teased.
it kind of seemed like it was going to be it, and then all of a sudden it flipped, and it was just this like...
April Fools.
Yeah, like, hey,
like,
here's some like cool cards, but
Here's a poop
not what I
card.
expected.
Yeah. But don't get me wrong, I did enjoy the set. You know what I mean? I've said it before.
Yeah.
Fourth Wall is one of my favorite cards. You know, so
Definitely.
But yeah, so now with that, my next question is What was your favorite?
Before you move on,
No,
do
yeah,
you know how many ancillary sets there were, or side sets, subsets, whatever you want to call them, there were this year?
I do not.
So,
if I had to guess, my guess would be a baker's dozen.
12? 13.
13.
What's different about a baker?
He gets to eat one. And then bring
Deadly,
it
do you want to guess?
Wait, ask the question again, because I was looking down to see what the next question was.
How many subsets were released this year?
Subsets?
Yeah.
All right, so
That's even DeBruce, DeMock.
I know a rough estimate if my notes are correct because I'm working on a video for like end of year.
15.
Let's talk about what happened. So no, more than that actually.
Oh my gosh.
So depending on what you consider to be a subset, and
Yeah.
there's some in here that I took some liberties with.
Everything.
Like like the Walmart CN2 hangers. Do you consider those a subset? No, right?
Yeah.
But I have them in my ancillary set list because they're not core set.
They're like a sub of a subset.
They're subs. I have 28.
Do you have? Holy crap!
In my list.
Do you have like the Caster's Cup like shirts, like those promos as one?
No, I have those under like a separate promo list.
Okay.
Those weren't like widely available to the public.
No, yeah.
So
I was
not to spoil my own video that I'm working on for next week, but do you guys want to know what some of them are?
Yeah.
All right, cool.
Let's see.
So we've talked about the fan art blister packs, right? We're now getting the rugs in hand.
Mm-hmm.
So rugs was an ancillary set or a subset. The tarot cards, which came with the seance packs, the UFO lunch boxes, the wilderness token box toppers, gamer sups.
Shit!
It was just one card of the Bigfoot. But
forgot about that.
It was a unique Bigfoot.
What about Pin Club?
Fuck. I got those on my list. Yeah, HeroQuest Genesis, the Holiday Pin Club ornaments, Magicast, Trick No Treat, Valentine's Chibi set. I included the LGS kits, so the fall and the summer LGS kits because they had the 8 or 10 promos in them, which were reprints, but again subsets and whatnot. For some of those, it's the only way to get full holos of a certain card.
Yeah.
I have the PFP card set in here. That doesn't really count in my opinion. So let's go 27. For Pin Club, we had Seance.
Because then, did you count tops?
I did count tops, actually.
Yeah. So then, why isn't PFP?
26.
PFP. Who are they collabing with though? Manifold or whatever it is.
Manifold was the NFT. That's the smart contracts.
I have no idea.
They're tops quality.
If 11000 enter tab.
I will leave it up to the viewers to decide if that counts. The PFP card set and tops. For Pin Club,
wait till it comes out, and then we'll decide if it counts.
Well, no, I can't.
Supposedly, apparently, there's a playable card going in.
Don't say it. It's in the NFT gated channel.
Oh well, then we have to cut this. Sorry, we have to cut.
Sorry, Mike, we're keeping it. Too much work.
No, we're cutting.
Just
hold
let
on.
the record show that I was about to say it and didn't.
32 minutes. 32 minutes, Matt.
Nope.
It's in between 32 minutes.
Nope. Can we get an MZO in here?
What's that gonna do?
We need to disqualify Deadly.
All right, we have the 3 revive drops. We have Target blisters. We have CN2 UFO and Wilderness hangers at Walmart. What's your passion? And the Kickstarter poker cards.
What's your passion?
Boom,
dude. I kind of wish I had What's Your Passion.
I want one of those too. I wasn't willing to buy it at the time.
I wasn't either, but now I kind of wish I did. Yeah.
It was expensive, wasn't it? Like $150?
$130.
Oh.
It's not as bad as I thought.
Yeah, a little less than the rugs. The artifact is going to be awesome, though. Even if you get the silver, the artifact is going to be awesome. Especially with the embedding the soul decks that are going out now.
Yeah, kind of.
So basically, any tournament that you go to, I'm just going to, hang around and try and rob you because you're going to be you're going to be carrying some gold.
You'll know it's me because I'm wearing a Loveland Frogman pendant.
Yeah, you'll have
chain snatcher,
lady luck in your deck.
Ooh.
Oh man.
So with that, then now we could go into the third little question for this episode.
That took longer than it should have to get through that list.
We're not through the list yet.
Yeah, we're only halfway through the list.
The list of subsets.
Oh. So going through our list, the third question was, what was your favorite artwork from the year? And that's just loose. It could be a Topps card. It could be a poker card. It could be whatever you want. So, Ian, what was your favorite artwork? And I'm hoping that none of us have the same one for this one as well.
It was a hard choice for me, actually. I ended up going with the Mothman Festival Mothman card from Chet Yates.
Awesome.
Because I love the art, first of all, and what it represents, which is the start of the Cryptid Nation story. So, seeing that for the first time, it really hit home for basically just kind of everything about Metazoo. I still don't own one. I almost pulled the trigger on one last week. I did. I didn't do it. I've been trying to find somebody to trade. Haven't been successful. But, I think that was a clear choice for me after I really thought about it.
That's definitely a cool one, especially if you're familiar with like the comics and the lore and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. It's a real cool one in my opinion too. I agree with you.
I'm looking forward to something like that at Frogman Festival.
There'll be something. There's gonna be something. Deadly, what was your favorite artwork for this year?
All right, kids, shield your eyes.
Oh no, I have a feeling that
this one.
Oh well,
it's literally.
For a second, but
well, you can post it and edit it.
There are children watching.
Look, he's so sad. It's the art from the revived decks for Seance. They flashed the Black Mass as a deck, and that is the coolest art.
So that one cool. Was actually done by Seb.
I was gonna take a guess. I was thinking it was Seb.
Yep.
It's such a good the card is super cool in the set. And then that art right there, just as like a more vibrant, colorful, and I say colorful as in like it has more shades and it has like more texture and whatever. It has more texture, has more going on in the picture than just like the darker on the actual main set. So yeah, that's my favorite.
So this one was the hardest one for me to decide. I had a bunch of stuff picked out that I had to like go through and choose one of essentially. But the one that I ended up with, I genuinely thought Deadly was going to choose as well. So I'm glad that he did not. And that is the Reaper Scythe from UFO, which was done by Michael Peckham, who has done a few of my favorite cards actually. He was on that list a few times that I had to narrow down to choose this one. So I guess I just like his artwork. But yeah, just the Grim Reaper there with all like the background stuff coming off of like his scythe. It's such a cool card to me. The first time I saw it, I was like, holy crap, this one's dope. And I think Deadly was over my house when we were ripping them. Actually, and he was like, "Yeah, I seen that one already. That one is awesome. I was like praying that it was like super super playable. I was like staring at it, being like, "Whoa, I could do this and this." It is kind of playable actually, but you got to build the deck like specifically for it. Like that.
Yes.
That has to be. Yeah. It has to be like a dark deck where you're like sacking stuff and putting stuff in your limbo or whatever the heck it is. I forget.
It's a mechanic that you need to focus on.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely.
Too 100%. Bulky. To really
but I this was a hard one for me. Like there's a lot of good artwork. It's honestly the reason why I feel like a lot of us got drawn to this game to begin with. That the artwork caught our eye in some way, shape, or form. But yeah, this one is the one I'm deciding on.
That's one that I hope that somehow, maybe in Casters Cup 2023 packs, gets released in a full hollow form.
Dude, that would be
just because of that background.
That would be perfect. Yeah, I agree with you. That one would be awesome. And then our last little thing is more about playability. And it was, what was our favorite deck that we built this year? Now, Ian was a little newer into playing.
So he's really only got one deck that he knows.
No.
He's like, Humble
Two. Okay, no, yeah, that's the one. That's the one.
So Ian has made multiple
It's a good
decks.
one.
And
I have
actually,
a couple that have, more often than not, my decks have failed.
No, but what's funny, though, I was thinking about this the other day. When you first began playing, you, like, beat me, like, 7 or 8 games in a row.
Yeah,
and
it's
then,
you.
And then as you learned the game, I started whooping your ass.
Yeah.
And now
I don't
we're
know
pretty.
what I'm doing. Is this right?
Now we're pretty even. Now it's sometimes we win, sometimes we lose.
I think I got really lucky on that first spellbook.
That was a good one,
built.
yeah.
And then you guys had some feedback on that as well that just kind of even made it stronger. So that was, for people that don't know,
it
was a mono dark spellbook. I think I focused on fear. Yeah, it was Houston Batman.
Yep.
Was my big one.
And it beat me.
Yeah.
And then
I
think
that spellbook.
you were pulling out All Hallows Eve at the end, like ripping one of those off. I think it was in it.
Not then, because that wasn't out yet.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, that
maybe you added that later.
Well,
I added that later, and that was a different spell book. That was, but I remember using that against you guys, and I think we threw away that game because the recording messed up.
Yeah.
Right.
But Ian, what was your favorite spellbook that you built?
I hate Deadly right now because I think it is the darker
Dude,
Humble Dumble.
that's all I've been playing lately.
It's so good. The lockdown, so you can't be dampened and whatnot with Humble Dumble.
That is something I love.
It
comes out so quick. He's coming out pretty quick. Usually, the last couple games I played, he did not come out very fast. I was very upset.
So he's one dark, 2 earth, right? Humble Dumble?
2 earth, 1 dark. My deck is main earth, and I drop dark in.
Earth is pretty tough right now.
Earth is pretty tough, but I'm curious with the fusion auras if you could technically make it easier to dump a Humble Dumble into a dark spellbook, which would just be awesome. Just for that.
Yes.
I'm just going to assume
because if we take a guess and take a hypothetical that it does either way, just one of, then yeah, I mean you can be dropping
between 2 prisms and 2 fusions. Say.
Yeah, it makes those 2 drop, 2 like 4 drop, 2 split of each, neutral. Those are the ones that's going to help out the most, targeted to the ones that they make, obviously.
Yeah, that arena effect is huge. It's hard to beat that. I've gone up against it a few times, and I didn't start doing well against it until I was able to permanent possess Humble Dumble. So it's really only my Spirit spellbook that's done okay against Dark Earth.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then you steal it, and then you get the arena effect, which is great. And Cement Snake is the other one in that spellbook. So not only are you locking down your opponent's ability to play cards on your turn, you're locking down their aura, you're negating fleet.
I hate it.
So if you're up against, lightning with cats, you have a little bit of an advantage there.
And it burrows.
I think I even spoke about this last week, but I was going up against a deck that was the snakes or whatever they are, the cement worms, and it was also then Slide Rock, and I had to concede when my life points were at like 800 still, because
that was the first Dark Earth I played against you. I got the Slide Rock out and I just started destroying your aura.
I had to literally concede with 800 life points remaining, and I was in the lead because it was like I had no aura literally none. If I put one out, he would just take it away next turn. If I put one out, so the whole it would have caught up. I would have just been wasting time if I didn't concede, essentially.
Yep. And they get the Cairns out there and they just heal Slide Rock back up.
It was so bad.
Yep.
I was like, "Are you freaking?" And it happened like turn 3. He got Slide Rock out. Like he just happened to get Orphax and things like that.
Yeah.
And bam! I was like, "Are you freaking serious, dude?"
It's the worst. It's the worst.
Yeah. Those cement worms could be very brutal in a deck for sure, especially paired with, like you're saying, like Humple Dumples and some other things.
I need to rebuild my Dark Earth now. That's what I'm doing.
There's really only like 3 decks that I'm scared of, and all right, there's actually 2 decks that I'm really scared of, but there's one that I lose to half of the time, and that's the third one that I lose to half of the time, and I don't like that, you know. You know, so when I do go up against one, I get a little sweaty, you know. You know. The other decks, I'm like, all right, I might take a few hits in the beginning and stuff like that, but my deck comes in late game sometimes, you know, and I'm aware of that, so I'm okay. But when I see that dark earth, I'm like, fuck, I don't know which way this is gonna go. I don't know which way this is gonna go. Oh man, and you were the first person that made me realize that, actually, Ian, playing that deck.
The first time I saw Humble Dumple, I knew exactly I had to build around it. And then I think Humble Dumple we saw first, and then we saw Cement Worm after.
And I wrote the article. I wrote the article about Humble Dumple even because of how impressed I was with that thing. But I'm waiting for more goblins to come out.
We have 3 now that I know of, right? Maybe 4. We have Tommy Knocker, Humble Dumple. We have the Old Church Goblin. Forgot the full name of that one. I feel like there's one more.
Is the so there's the one in my deck is a Bloodsucker. It's the Flame Dark. I can't remember his name. Oh, it's just it's just.
Is it the Old
the
Church
Gargoyle?
One?
The Gargoyle. He's not like goblin or anything.
I don't think he's a goblin.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can't remember what he was, but
so I would want it so that I could
Society to the rescue. Hopkinsville Goblin, Old Dutch Church Goblin.
Hopkinsville. That's another one. That's true. So what I'm waiting for is something that I could like swarm with, essentially, almost like a goblin that has like a 1-drop 10 of per deck type of thing, something like that. So I could put a bunch of them in the deck. Exactly, something like, or even like exploding rabbits. You could do that or something. You know what I mean? Just like
I think that's like 8.
Yeah, well, okay, so even like a 1-drop for that you could have 8 of in a deck, something like that. I'd be cool with that. Just a goblin where, like, if I put Humple Dumple out, I'm not gonna be like, am I gonna flip through 15 cards right now?
That happened to one of our teammates when I was playing him in practice last week. He only had the 3 Humple Dumples. I'm like, you got to throw some Tommy Knockers in there to cut out, how many replacing on top of your spellbook, or you need a way to reshuffle.
Yeah.
Which in mine, I have indexes and some other ways to just reshuffle in case I get some bad luck
the
with
appendix.
The
appendix,
Appendix, yeah. I love it.
Yeah.
But if you only have the Humple Dumples in there, you're pulling out 2 Humple Dumples as soon as you contract, essentially. But
that's all
you better hope they're close. Yeah, you better hope they're close together. So one of the games that I was playing him in, he had half his spellbook left. He put a Humple Dumple on the field, and his other Humple Dumple I think was either the second to last or the last card. So I just all your aura on top, and then spells on the bottom.
That's the worst feeling ever.
Yeah,
I did that early on, and I'm
no
like,
ways to reshuffle.
What am I doing?
Yeah.
This is not right.
I think I ended up, because I only had 1 card in hand, I ended up being nice to him, and I gave him New Beginnings.
Squeezed in like 7 cards down.
No, right at the top, because I wanted him. I'm like, I want you to play that. I want you to play that, because I want 7 cards.
Yeah, and then
so
he picks up 7 aura, and then he throws away whatever's in his hand. That's you're actually mean.
Yeah.
It was not nice.
It's strategy, man. Strategy.
Yeah. That's the technical brain in there that puts you ahead.
Yeah. That's the MZO brain right there, dude.
I'm going to be taking the master's exam next week, whenever they drop it. I'm finally eligible for that. It's been 3 months.
After failing my exam X amount of times, I've decided that God wants me to be a player and not an MZO. So
Why not
So
both?
what happens when you never place in a tournament? What does God want?
If only he knew the game better.
I'm sorry. I'm so mean tonight.
I don't know, dude.
What is it your dad always said? It sucks to suck?
It sucks to suck. It does. It sucks to suck. It does. Definitely does. Deadly, what's your favorite deck that you built?
Now we're being too
So out of this year, I want to say that Bloodsucker spellbook that I made. Once UFO, I think it was dropped. Was it UFO dropped?
Nope, that was Seance.
Was it really Seance? I jumped. Okay. I guess so what had happened if it was Seance, what had happened is I opened a couple $100 worth of Seance. I didn't hit any of the Hateful Eight, which turned into like a lot of the playable cards. But there are a lot of good, decent cards that allowed me to explore the set and learn other cards and other aura types and kind of ignore like the bigger ones that everybody was chasing. And I found I jumped in with Dark because I saw, I think that the Terra, what is it called now? It's the Terra, it's farm, nighttime.
Yeah.
And
I don't remember the name of it, but it's 3 in 1 basically.
It's basically 3 Terra in 1, and I could grab it with Born from the Earth. And it basically allowed me to play a Chupacabra for free, a Gargoyle for free. It made, I'm pretty sure it made, what's the Mocha Vampire? It made Mocha Vampire like a 3-drop or something. Yeah. It was really, really strong. So I made that, and I played it, and I made something that was just running against people. Yeah. And you guys figured it out and beat me, and then I had to change it.
Is that recent? Because I don't think I've seen you play that.
No, it was semi-recent. Yeah, it was before he went away on his trip. That's what he was playing, essentially.
His 3-month trip away from all of us.
Yeah. But yeah, that was the deck he was playing, and he kind of stopped playing it if I'm remembering right, Deadly, because we didn't know exactly a detail about Chupacabra. And Bloodsucker stacking or something like that.
It was confusing. Yeah, because so there was Blood Grimoire. Did I say that right?
I think
guys,
so.
Did I say
Grimoire?
that right?
Yeah.
Blood Grimoire. Swifty would always correct me. I'd be like Grimmer or something. So when that came out, I was like, this card is super, super OP. And it's still to this day, it's a flying artifact. I think it's 75 something LP. And it allows Bloodsucker to literally gain life points for the caster. So,
yep.
And the question was, a permanent gain on my LP. So it basically, I could take hits. Basically, I would be a little bit of a punching bag, let you hit me. Then I would get my Chupacabras and stuff out. They would be blockers, and then they have Bloodsucker, so you'd have to one-shot kill them for 50. But then on top of it, their ability...
Life, yeah.
Their ability is crazy because if you have all these Bloodsuckers out, everything had Bloodsucker. So if I'm gaining back with this one 15, I'm going to gain 10 LP on this Bloodsucker, and I gain half of it. It just got really confusing.
It was a lot.
So, and it was you had to know exactly what was going on every single time and explain it correctly, and the other person understand it in a 50-minute round of playing 3. That's one. Yeah. It turned into Earth. It turned into me playing Earth really slow, and I would get one game would last the whole 3.
Yeah,
they were supposed to play.
We even recorded a gameplay video, a best of 3, and it even lasted 3 whole games. But I never edited and released the gameplays because we weren't sure about that. And and honestly,
it was such a detrimental. We played the whole game through it.
Yeah, and you probably should have won a different game, and I was doing the math wrong on the Blood Gamor thing or something like that, remember? Or something like that. Where like
It was
confusing. So like I was just like, all right, if I release this, everybody's going to just make fun of us, dude.
they're like, we can't follow or take any of their advice if this is how they play.
So
like, no, we can't see this.
So what's funny though is that my favorite deck for the whole year is my Casey Jones Burning Effigies deck.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And the reason that I'm saying that's funny is because all three of our decks that we chose are Seance decks, which is the most recent set. So I think that kind of
just keeps getting better and better.
That's kind of what I was going to say. Yeah, it kind of shows where like the state of Metazoo is at currently for gameplay, and how these decks just keep improving and getting stronger, and we could continue to do more.
It's funny that so thinking about that too though is Slide Rock was the big beastie, our main beastie in mine. You have Ghost Train in yours.
And Gassy.
Deadly, you have and Gassy, and you have Chupacabras, and what else do you have from Cryptid Nation? Wait,
so Cryptid
like
Nation, I had Jersey Devil.
Yeah.
I had Big Jersey Devil. I had Mothman, Promo Mothman.
So
some of the big hitters, some of the big mechanics that we're still including is Cryptid Nation.
Yeah.
Those are big names.
I probably cards from all the sets, honestly. Probably.
Yeah.
Close.
I don't think I did much outside of Seance and Cryptid Nation for mine. Maybe OrFX and
yeah, maybe. Actually, no. My spellbook right now is pretty simple. I'm very limited on BCs and everything. But yeah, my effigies with Casey Jones and Gassy, it's been so much fun for me. And I just want to throw this one out there too. I never really played this one competitively. I don't think it's a competitive deck or anything like that. But probably the most fun deck I played, though, honestly, was my Grim Reaper.
Grim?
My Grim.
That was a great game we had, though, too.
That deck. So the way I built this deck, and this was granted now like 2 or 3 sets ago, was so the point of Grim Reaper is that if you could get him out, and you can only get him out by using actual aura pages, then you do something like a roll of the die, and it's like a 50-50 chance essentially that you win the game. So it's something along those lines, if I'm just remembering off the top of my head, like kind of correctly. So my whole deck was built around my life points is a time clock, and you're going to keep hitting me, and it's ticking down, and I need to get Grim out before you kill me. So what could I do to prevent you from doing damage to me? But I want as many aura pages in this deck as possible, and no beasties besides Grim, essentially, because they're taking up spots that I could be using to draw aura. So I had a few spells, some smoky spirits, and what I was doing was there was like Nightmare, which you could reuse and reshuffle, and I was putting stuff to sleep with Catnap. And so you could Catnap them, which puts them to sleep for a turn. And then you could Nightmare them. And Nightmare destroys anything that's asleep. And then you shuffle Nightmare back into your deck. And then I had like Potion Cellar to get my Smoky Spirits back and stuff like that. So when I would play somebody...
Very old school setup.
So when I was playing somebody who didn't know what they were doing, though, it would confuse the heck out of my opponents, because... they would just be like, all right, I'm going to hit you with my power-up redded thing for 150. And I'd be like, yeah, go ahead. Like, I was okay with taking the damage, because I knew, all right, I got 7 aura out. I got 3 more in my hand. I got Grim now. I could, I'm okay. You know, and it was just like fun, because everybody's like, why is he not putting anything out on this board? You know, and I have a hand of like 19 cards or something.
You really enjoy messing with people's heads.
I do. It's bad. It's bad. Yes. I was that kid who was playing like pranks on people and stuff. You know? But yeah, my Grim deck was probably the most fun one that I played, but it's not a competitive, like, well functioning. It's a hit or miss, and you know, you're just having fun playing it type of thing.
It's one of those win con. It's a win con.
Yeah, but even there are some competitive win con decks, you know. UFO, for example, is one. Like, that's a very competitive. You could use UFO competitively and stuff, and get that win.
Graham, I wouldn't say is at that level though.
Exactly. Yeah. But yeah, my Casey Jones and Effigies kind of has like a similar vibe to it, and that's kind of why I like it. There's like no beasties in it really. People are like, "What's going on here?" And that's like if I don't get my Effigies out quick. But if I do get my Effigies out quick, they're also like, "Oh shit, what's going on here?" You know, so I enjoy.
A lot going on there.
Yeah. So I enjoy that one a lot. Deadly had a bunch of fun decks though this year. I'm surprised actually that's the one he chose. I
was thinking of the one that I enjoyed the most for myself, building and playing, and that was those two. That one.
My guess for you was gonna be Menehune, Light Elementals, and what's that? The Spiderling tokens.
Yeah, the Spiderling token artifact little combo thing. It's good, but I've kind of got tired of having to Menehune Lightning in a bottle. And then get it. Menehune Lightning in a bottle. I didn't like having to do 2 steps for it, and then it's strong, and it definitely brings out I think 50 damage of individual. You know what I mean? 10 different beasties, which I was looking and starting to see people like pinging them down. Like I was like, okay, these don't stick around sometimes, and like if that's like if I lean on that, it's like split my, like you made a comment, like the spellbook split a little bit from doing that, but then I think it also heavily does the light elementals, you know what I mean? So it splits between the two of them, has some fluidity to the cards, but I kind of run dry on it.
So we're at like the 1 hour mark right now. So I'm gonna throw one more question out there that we didn't plan for in typical MJ fashion. And we can make this quick, and then we'll wrap up from there. But starting with Ian, I want to know, just because we're talking about our decks that we enjoyed, I want to know real quick what your least favorite deck to go up against has been this year. The one where you're like, I'm facing
I can't
this.
work under this pressure.
I'm going up against this.
So yeah, there's a clear one actually. So my play style is a little more slow. I like to take my time. I like to think about what I want to do. I really enjoy board control and kind of keeping things under control. I'm not huge against aggro. So the spell book that if I see it coming at me, that I always like, oh man, like I'm gonna lose. Like I hate going up against this spell book. Is Fearsome Critters. It's just it hits too fast. You know, everything just stacks upon the tribal boosts. It's something that I know I need to practice taking care of.
Yeah.
But it's one of those ones that as soon as that starts coming out, I'm like I'm gonna get steamrolled. I know it. my spellbook's not built to be to counteract aggro.
Yeah.
I have some stuff that I usually put in that I can take control late game. I need to get better at building spellbooks for. It's not even Fearsome Critters too. There's other aggro decks out there. Just anything that comes at me fast, I tend to do poorly against.
Yeah. Deadly, what was your least favorite deck to go up against this year?
I'm gonna have to say Cosmic, hands down.
Which
one of the there's 2 combinations that suck, but it really bothers me. I think like the Reptoid Ruler, grabbing Lizard People, just flooding the board, and then having Tribal Boost across. And I know I just played it literally last night, so but it really made me angry playing it because I felt confident in my spellbook, and then I was like struggling like constantly. I think some mistakes were made in the game. It was just casual, but I ended up winning, and I didn't feel good about winning it at all, because I was like, I feel like honestly it would have played out differently because it was a relatively big mistake, and it was later on in the game. But Yeah, Cosmic is not fun. And even having there's so many different combinations of things that I might run into for Cosmic. So there might be the Flatwoods. There might be the Lizard People, like some weird like combo. There might be somebody doing some grays. Like
some
and
Fresnos.
Fresno Nightcrawlers, those are annoying as heck too. Like, it's so many things in there that like need answers, and I'm built on answers. Like, that's what I want. I want answers for this, I want answers for that, and then when you run dry on all your answers because they just keep bringing them, it's like a 3-beastie play every turn. 3 beasties. Pass. 3 beasties. Reptoid Ruler. Dead. Like, what? Yeah, so that's my answer.
So... My real answer is the same as Ian's. Fearsome Critters, honestly, for me. I think I've maybe beat them like twice, and it was with like a straight flame deck. Yeah, which makes sense. Dude, my deck now is mainly flame, and I struggle with them. I lose to them 60 or 70% of the time. Right now, that's how I was saying before. There's 2 decks that I'm afraid of, and like one that the Dark Earth that I do 50-50 against. Critters is one that I'm the one of the 2.
I feel like I'd be more scared.
I'm scared. I'm scared of for my deck specifically. I'm scared of Critters, and I'm scared of water. That's really it. But the Critters I've lost to with my Lightning deck. I've lost to with my with this deck. I've lost to with I don't know. A bunch of decks, you know what I mean? Honestly, so they've been something that just keeps coming back and reoccurs in my life, and I'm like, oh my gosh, you know what I mean? Gumbaroo, get rid of this. Rope Rake, get rid of this thing. And now they keep adding more stuff that's just helping it out, you know. There's
you can't get other things in other aura sets and not expect them to give a little bit of forest.
But the most shocked I was this whole year, and the most upset I was, and it was the worst timing possible probably, was game 1 of Caster's Cup. I went up against a one-hit kill, whatever, gassy River of Time,
and he got it off first turn.
Boil over deck. Yeah, I was winning. I was playing Lightning Quets, and I was winning, and it was literally like 400 to 1,000. And in my head, I'm like, is this guy going to consider like scooping? Like, what's up? And it gets down, it's down. Literally now we're at like 250 to 1,000 or something like that. I'm like, what is going on here? And the next turn he wins. I was like, what the That was my first game of Caster's Cup. I was like, if this is how the whole tournament is, we're not prepared for this.
You're like, I wonder how everybody else is doing right now.
I was like, I thought we were decent at this and knew like what we were doing, but apparently
he was about to cancel everything. No more Discord. He's like, we're going home.
For real. I was like, dude, we are rookies in this game, man. But turns out the guy was like a pro Yu-Gi-Oh player. Then my dog's like making noises back here.
So he loved that torrential gassy deck.
Yeah,
so
that
if he's a Yu-Gi-Oh player, then I feel like he'd love it because it's so fast paced.
But yeah, so that was the one that I was like, I was literally like, what? And like, I prayed that I never saw it again, and I haven't, luckily. So
I've never even heard of it. So
because after the first time, so obviously if you play the game, you know it's best out of 3, right? So. I knew what to expect now game 2 and game 3. So I'm like, all right, let me destroy these Aurifacts. Let me da-da-da.
Yeah.
It just doesn't work out sometimes. Like, that deck is good.
It goes off.
Yeah. It really is. But yeah, that's
interesting.
That's all I got for this episode. So with that, Ian, why don't you tell us about your channel and the achievements that you made?
I don't achieve anything. We achieve it. Sorry. So yeah, I have a channel on YouTube for Cryptid Nation News, which does weekly updates for what's going on in the world of Metazoo. It's actually kind of slow. I don't think there's been a single update this week.
Oh no!
Yeah, we're recording this on Wednesday, but it's the holiday week, which is good because I have a video to work on for the end of year stuff. But the achievement that MJ is hinting at is that my channel just hit 1,000 subscribers, which is huge. Took a little over a year to get there. But so thank you all that are watching this, that are subscribed to my channel. It means a lot. And here's to getting to 1 million.
Yeah. I said it first, dude. I just want you to know I said it first. You saw my comment, dude. I said road to 1 mil.
Yeah, right. But I'm not joking about the kind of joking about it's not my achievement, it's our achievement, or the we, right? I strongly believe that we as content creators grow together. So I do what I can to kind of partner up with other people, with Caster's Corner, with Tormentic, Carly, at Epic Tube HD, and we all grow together. Even from that, our growth is Metazoo's growth. Metazoo's growth is our growth. So we're not doing it alone.
No, yeah. No, and I thank you for your channel, because I'd be out of the loop without you, man. So so I really appreciate it. I know a lot of other people in the community also appreciate it.
Where was I for you back in April for MagicCast?
I
feel like I failed you.
Watching.
No.
No. you weren't
No.
filming at that point.
No, he was.
I was.
No, and here's the thing is, I probably definitely knew about it. I think I was just so hyped up about, like, I wanted those. If you know me, I want the release event decks and, like, the theme decks, like, desperately, when they release.
Yeah, there's great cards in them.
He wanted like 3 of each.
I always do.
Unopened, open, just the decks, just the promos.
Yeah, Immortal Workshop hates me now. Come releases. I'm like, dude, make sure you open those release event boxes and send me one of each.
Dude, so he yeah, never mind.
So yeah, I was like that.
It's a great service that he does, by the way.
No,
but people do not read the fine print and say, hey, these are coming opened.
Yeah, no. How are you going to know what's inside of them otherwise?
Yeah, exactly.
But yeah, so I'm pretty sure, like, I was aware of it. It was just in the back of my mind, and my excitement got the best of me. It was one of those, like, Caster MJ fucked up type things. But
as usual.
But yeah, you got a giveaway going on in the Discord and everything like that now, celebrating.
By the time this airs, it'll still be. Wait, what day is this?
Oh, it might be over by the time.
It will be over by the time this gets out. So
well, you missed it,
sorry.
guys.
Sorry, everyone.
Well, better luck next time. We'll see you at the 50K giveaway. No, congratulations for real, man.
Whoever it was. Yes.
Deadly, is there anything you want to say before we close out?
I want to shout out Tuffy in his tournament. It must have happened already, so I must be in first now.
Yeah,
I'm ill prepared. So
that will
when
be
this comes out,
yeah.
it will.
Well, yeah, there will be a winner by the time this comes out. So
yeah, because it's on Sunday, and this probably is Monday.
Yeah, this will come out on Monday probably. Sorry, guys.
But yeah, shout out to that.
Well, this is going well.
Thank you thank you for putting it on. I'm going to thank you in advance. And if it gets canceled, then I'm sad at this point in time. But yeah. So,
yeah. The only thing I got is I just want to remind everybody that we are sponsored by Immortal Workshop. So, again, there you go. If you were going to be shopping for some Metazoo product, you might as well shop at Immortal Workshop. He's got great prices, great products, and fast shipping. So I don't know what else you could ask for. So you'll be able to find his link down in the description below. And with that, we'll catch everybody next year, I guess, technically. Hope everybody has a good new year, and we'll see you next time, guys.
Have a good one.
See ya.